Hi, I'm Nathan Etherington, the Program and Community Coordinator at the Brant Historical Society. Welcome back to Season 2 of Archival Discoveries, where we find documents in the museum and learn something new about Brantford's history. In today's episode, we are going to feature the Schubert Choir of Brantford. Alright, so in this first box, we actually see their very first program. So they have their first concert on February 1st, 1907. So looking through this, many of the concerts appeared to be very long. They have many acts, many different songs being sung. Sometimes they're choir pieces. Other times they're just like musical pieces that the orchestra would play. So it goes on for some time. And then in the back as well, it has the officers. So W.F. Cockshut, the MP, as well as T.H. Preston, the MPP. Both of them are the honorary presidents. And Judge Hardy, of course, is the actual president of the choir. As well, you see a list here of all the members of the choir. This was not a small choir by any stretch of the imagination. So here we see their second program. On their second program, they now have the name of their conductor, H.K. Jordan. H standing for Henry. And we can see here as well another concert that they did and the program, and all they were printed by the expositor. And most of these as well were held at the Sanderson Center as well. So now we see a little bit later, we see their 7th season. Then we jump forward quite a bit into the middle of the war. We get 1918 with their soprano soloists that they brought in from New York. Here's now a post-war kind of program, 1922, again, with Henry K. Gordon at the piano. Moving on to the 30s, we see a different program yet again, different style of program, and that's the same. 1934 is their 28th season, so now we're in the middle of the Depression, and the quality of the paper is not quite as good as some of the other ones. And you can see as well, we have an 8-page program now compared to several pages before. And then in this concert, they actually did something kind of interesting. They had a 2-choir piece. So they took, the choir was big enough, they were able to split the choir in half and have 2 equal kind of choirs at the performance. So then we move on into their 30th season with him there as the conductor. They also performed other places. So here they are. Here's one of their programs performing at Massey Hall in Toronto. So they're doing quite a bit. They always use Steinways for their performances. Here's another program now where you've moved a little later in the Depression. We're getting a bit fancier maybe with their 32nd season at the Capitol. And then the next year, 39, very similar program, just a different color. Moving on into 1939, they do something very different. They go to the World's Fair in New York City. And in fact, they're part of the 1939 World's Fair there. And on this page here, they have the opening events. So there's rather a lot of opening events stretching from April into June. But we see here, May 29th, 1939, is the Schubert Choir of Brantford's performance. One of the neat things that we have is we actually have a ticket stub to one of the performances. Here is a later program, but as well noting their performance at the World's Fair. And this is in their 32nd season, so, oh, that one doesn't actually say it. This one does. This one says the date, April 23rd, 1941. And that's kind of more an advertisement. And then we have here the program as well, Rule Britannia kicking it off. One of the classic things that the choir would have sang back then. So the last article we're going to look at is the last program, or the latest program that we have from the Schubert Choir of Brantford. You can see they did this, presented this for the Royal Canadian College of Organists that also was founded in Brantford. And they have this performance Thursday, April 22nd, 1948. So we've moved out into the gift shop of the museum so that we can show you something that we actually have on display here. And this is a trophy that the Schubert Choir of Brantford won. And they won it in July of 1928, and they went and competed in a kind of choir festival in Scranton, Pennsylvania. We were able to learn quite a bit today about the Schubert Choir of Brantford. We saw their first program from 1907. We saw them go to the United States and compete in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and win a trophy in 1928. We also saw them perform at Massey Hall in Toronto, as well as be one of the opening acts in 1939 in the World's Fair in New York City. So join us next week on Archival Discoveries when we learn a little bit more about Chiefswood.